Hello, everybody. We are live. This is Stardock. This is the official Galactic Civilizations 3 developer stream. We are here. I am Adam Biesener. Hello. This is Paul Boyer. He is the lead designer on the game.
Hello.
He will actually be the one.
Is that a camera there?
Yes, that's a camera.
Okay.
I can see it on my feed.
Okay.
So, okay, we look like we are live.
Did we ever figure out why we weren't able to get the higher resolution last week?
No. I have done some magical voodoo with the setup that we have here, and we appear to be okay with 1080. So we should be good to go. Ray, you can lean in and say hi and wave to the camera anyway. Ray isn't mic'd. He's the producer on the project. He's joining us in the game as well. And he looks way fresher than either of us do, to be real honest. You're gonna have to lean way over.
Ray's wearing a tie because he's a professional.
He is a professional.
Casual Friday at Stardock.
That's right. So we're just waiting for Ray to get his laptop set up and join the game, and we will be good to go, more or less. Hey, everybody. Glad the mics are working better. That was a source of some consternation, I know, last week. I apologize for that. That's my fault. But stream looks a little bit better now. We got a logo on it. We have some like branding around the camera. It's all good. So I don't think it's going to be 3 versus 1 against Paragon or anything. Although I guess you guys could 2v1 him if you wanted to be mean.
Yeah, but he can watch what we're doing.
That's true.
Yeah, what is that?
As a matter of fact, he can watch. He's watched what I'm doing.
You telling me they're gonna learn my ultimate strategy of just build warships?
So while we wait for that, just wanted to set the tone kind of this week. I just wanted to theme the stream, I guess, a little bit just around warfare. Just the idea of we're going to talk this week about combat and war and ships and invasions and all that kind of thing, because Galciv 3 is really big, and it's nice to have a little bit of
Ray's here. Are you here?
Okay. What do you say?
who do you wanna
Direction,
play?
I guess.
Okay.
How's that sound?
All right.
Play a whole bunch of not Terran.
Oh, well, you took the iridium.
Yeah, I did.
They got the pointiest ships.
Go ahead and launch
Maybe,
it, Paul.
wait. Maybe I'll be Drengen, since we are talking on a war.
There you
theme
go.
Here. Okay.
So while the game is loading, I want to show you guys. I borrowed this awesome picture from another one of the offices here at Stardock. It's kind of behind the monitors there a little bit,
That's amazing.
but
Classic.
it's some seriously ancient Galactic Civilizations artwork showing the Drengen in their natural position of murdering, whoever.
I think this is essentially OS2.
Probably.
OS2 Drengen. Now this better pick up. I'm going to be very embarrassed.
Oh, you mean the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be embarrassed too if it doesn't actually.
We had some lag problems before we got the first patch going.
I don't understand what we need to be embarrassed about. We just take questions and answers.
Yes.
Yes, Paragon, the stream is out of sync. That's because it has to be encoded and re-uploaded and magic through the internet.
So you shouldn't watch it, and therefore we don't have to worry about you killing. Anyways, meanwhile,
That's right.
I should get moving.
Yeah, you should probably do things.
Whatever you do, don't look at the screen right now.
You're totally going to know that Paul's
Yeah.
building.
Guess what I'm building?
Oh, it's a mystery. Nobody ever builds
Hey.
those.
Yeah, wait till you see my pro strat.
Is it buy a bunch of transports, Ray? Is that your pro strat?
Possibly. Yeah. I call that the producer.
I would like to think that that is not a thing you can do yet. I hope. Oh crap! I hate playing against real people because I got to go straight to weapons.
You do totally have to go straight to weapons. That's
Yeah,
true.
I love the standard game because I like dominating through, being awesome.
So there's other research besides weapons? I don't understand.
Yes.
You guys keep talking about this stuff.
Ray is asking if there's actually other research items in the game other than weapons.
Yep.
And because he claims to not know of any such thing, which it may tell you something about the way that this game is going to unfold.
I should have played as Drengen. It makes more sense.
So Are you guys fans of EVE Online? Is a question that we have from Walrus9.
I am a fan of it, but I don't play it because it's gigantic and crazy, and I don't have the patience or time to play it. But I do watch it and go, that is so cool. I can't play that. And plus, MMOs in general tend to get a little weird. I'm not a big MMO player, but EVE is pretty awesome. Their user interface kind of blows my mind, and not necessarily in a good way. I don't understand how like the advanced players can even play that game. It's crazy with the 7,000 things up on the screen at a time.
Yeah, Parrot Math is taunting you, saying that Galactic Civilizations 3 is so small, right, Paul?
Well, in comparison to Eve,
I like that one, yeah.
yeah, in comparison to Eve, we're going to try and make it big, but you don't have to worry about having 5,000 other people blowing you up at a moment's notice.
Yeah, the best part about EVE, to my mind, has always been not so much playing it, but just seeing the stories that come out of it.
Yeah.
Like reading those crazy stories about people scamming like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
Go.
I'm not playing. I was distracted by Maggie. She's adorable.
She is adorable.
We need to put Maggie on the screen. That would be
She doesn't
That's
like
true.
me when I pick her up. Like it when I pick her up.
That's another fact.
So, yeah, audio situation hopefully is much better for you guys this time. Please let me know if the game sound is too loud or whatever. I tried to do what tests I could, but it's a little bit weird to get it set up with because people talk at different
this?
volumes and stuff like that.
Graphical glitch.
Looks like a feature to me, Paul.
It's coming from here, I think.
Big Rectangle wants to know what kind of games do you guys play in general. It's a question we get a lot, but we can always address it.
I play a lot of Gal Civ, needless to say. I like turn-based strategy in general, although I kind of get burnt out on it from our own games, so I tend to play other people's and then go on. But my escapist games are mostly RPGs. I spent 400 and something hours in Skyrim, and I probably could spend more.
I love Skyrim.
You know?
That was
Yeah.
my game of the year in whatever year it came out, and
It was my game of the year for like the last 3
Yeah.
years. Yeah, and I would be playing it still, except for I pretty much have exhausted everything.
Yep. Evil Monkey wants to know how much has adding multiplayer changed the overall game design? Are you aiming for balance between races?
A little bit. We're gonna, we are kind of saying that multiplayer is. Come on, Ray, man, what are you doing? Well,
I did my turn faster than you did. What kind of?
I'm talking. I'm allowed to take my turn.
You stopped answering the question just to heckle me.
I did.
What is this?
I did.
Oh man, you guys are missing some awesome commentary for Ray. I got to get you a mic for next time.
Let's see.
I actually have another mic. It kind of sucks, but that's all right. Anyway,
Anyways, I was saying, what was I saying?
That you're super mean to Ray?
That I'm super mean to Ray whenever possible.
multiplayer.
Oh,
and balance
multiplayer.
between races.
Yes, we are very much going to make sure we are as. Oh, I don't want a factory there. That's
I
lame.
put a factory there.
That's because you are not me. We're making multiplayer is not our number one priority. We really want the multiplayer to play as much like the single player as possible. Ideally, we'd love to have people playing co-op games against the AI, not necessarily fighting against each other. Some of the funner things in games are very much imbalanced things, really hard to balance. So we're going to do our best, but we're not going to sacrifice having super awesome racial traits just because, if you play the Altarians and you get this and this and this, you'll always win. Some of that will sneak through. We'll balance it as possible, but we don't want to nerf the single player game because of that. So,
yeah, I mean, single player is always the priority, right?
I guess I
the
should have
short
hit
answer.
turn like 10 minutes ago.
You could have hit turn 10 minutes ago. The important thing that we always talk about in the office is that we're like Galciv grew up as a single player game. It's always been a single player game, and it's going to continue to be a single player game. Like we're not doing anything. Who's calling me? We're not changing or compromising anything to put multiplayer into the game, right? Like multiplayer is this awesome new thing that we're adding to the game that we're really excited about. And we think somebody just talked about co-op in the chat, and co-op is awesome. Like I play a ton of co-op strategy games. Another one of our games, not that we develop in-house, but we publish, Sins of a Solar Empire, is another Stardock game, and that I love playing co-op Sins. And like this kind of game can work extremely well as co-op, and of course, you know, people are going to be able to design to some extent. We haven't totally locked it down yet, so I don't want to put anything in the dev team's mouths necessarily. But there will be, I mean, you'll be able to get in and do some sort of modding and scenario development and that kind of thing. Fans will be able to, so I'm sure we'll be able to get some cool, you know, co-op gameplay and cool co-op scenarios in there. Another question for you, Paul, out of the chat. I just lost it. Oh, it wasn't necessarily a total question, but somebody talked about how they really like to use play by email for strategy games, which is a very common thing that strategy games do. And I know that we've kind of we've done a bunch of testing internally, and there's a lot of things that have to do with just the way that the multiplayer is built in Galactic Civilizations 3. But I wanted to give Paul a chance to address it a little bit and talk about what multiplayer really is in GalCiv and what it's going to look like at the end of the day.
Well, we very much have went out of our way to make it. I mean, unfortunately, it's very turn-based. It's we have simultaneous planning, but everybody still only gets to move on their turn. If we were all planning a little better, these turns would go faster. But we really want the long-term play. You can save the game, you can load the game. We haven't really experimented with play by email because honestly, the amount of people that use it is minute, and it adds a bunch of infrastructure, and we're a pretty small company. So, but we're very much about. No, Steve. Now it's I'm Ravenfly. I'm like, who's Ravenfly's turn? Okay, hang on. I'll be done in a minute. Anyways, I don't know really what you're wanting me to say, but we really
I don't even know what you want from me.
we really want the multiplayer to be fun and feel as, like I keep saying, as much like the single player as possible.
You can see that here at Stardock, we're very on message. You know, as the marketing guy, I really whip these guys into line and don't let them say anything. It's very scripted for sure. Giant multiplayer robot was a really huge addition to Civ for sure. I just saw that pop up in the chat. I wouldn't hold your hopes out for any kind of GMR necessarily for GalCiv out of the box.
How do I not even know what this is? What is
giant multiplayer robots. Yeah. It was actually, I believe it started as a fan made thing.
Oh, that's
I think it may still be a fan made thing. It was kind of a replacement for the pit boss in Civ 5. But you know, those guys do awesome work. We're huge fans of Firaxis out here for sure. I mean, they make strategy games. We make strategy games. Everybody plays each other's strategy games.
We have a lot of Firaxis people.
We don't need to talk about
that.
Oh,
yes. Wink, wink.
Parrot Math asks, for multiplayer co-op, are you going to set up multiplayer scenarios like defend yourself from the evil Yor? I think Parrot Math is talking about, are we going to have those kind of custom scenarios that are built for co-op out of the box?
Certainly, I am planning on that, yes. We don't have the map editor nailed down yet, but we're going to have tons of scenarios you can play multiplayer or single player. So you can have you and AI defend yourself against evil Yor, or you and your friend defend yourself against evil Yor. Plus, we want to make it, hopefully when the tools are out, make it so people will be able to create those scenarios and share them themselves. So.
Sure. Are mini dumps going to be a problem like ICO? Well, ICO is Ironclad Online, and that's honestly, like, Stardock doesn't make ICO. We don't, we have the servers, I think, hosted on our VMs, but that's, we don't develop that. So it...
and we get disconnected.
Oh, did you really?
We get disconnected.
Oh,
what did you do?
I wasn't even sitting there that long.
Well, can we reload?
Well, let's try it. Well, that was embarrassing. Here. Restore session.
guys are ruining my stream.
Not really, that's more fun.
Oh, it's game in a game. Did we get the game in a game fixes aren't in here yet? We might need to.
Well,
Kill
let's
the
see what
client
happens.
reload. I guess
we can
we'll find out
always
what happens.
restart if
That's
this
true.
doesn't work.
Sorry for the technical problems, folks. This one's on the dev team though. This is your guys' problem, not mine. The stream looks nice.
I do not believe that your guys is proper English.
I haven't seen the stream yet, so I haven't seen.
Ray is giving me crap. He says that he hasn't seen the stream yet, so he doesn't believe me.
Yeah, but I'm on it, so.
Does what's his name? Dragon.
Paragon Renegade. Well,
Yeah,
he's watching the stream and he's in the chat.
Does he know to rejoin? Oh, there he is.
I think you just answered your own question.
Okay, and here's Ray. Join.
See, what we need
Now,
is
here you go. This is testing at its best.
This is an alpha test.
This is essentially
absolutely.
a game within the game, which
Title
is
Test with the devs, right?
always the devil.
It should be test
Okay, so it is apparently working, and it's Ray's turn again. Oh no, wait, it's my turn. I'm Ravenfly.
We're gonna get this thing
I
started.
need
I'm gonna
to
make
log
use.
in as myself.
I was gonna
next
say I
time.
need.
It's very confusing.
Well, when you walk into the room 3 minutes before the stream starts, you don't get a chance to log into your own Steam account.
Weird.
I'm just collecting all the
I'll
friends
just
from our
hit
nice
turn and
Stardock
see what
people.
happens. I wasn't
from our
able to rush.
fans.
That might be a bug.
Well, we appear to be back online, which is excellent. So I'm happy about that.
Well, the bad news is rushing seems to be broken.
Oh, that is a problem.
Rushing, I think it's rushing improvements that were placed before the turn. Yep, I can buy this. So now I can remove these. See, now you've seen debugging at, well, not debugging, troubleshooting at its.
There you go.
Hey.
It's workarounds. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Paragon Renegade wants to know, how did you get Dragon from Paragon Renegade?
I
Did you get Dragon from that?
the guy who I thought we were going to be playing name is Dragon something, and I forgot. And by the way, I am dyslexic, as you will be able to tell by reading the text in the game. And look at this. What is this? Strings overflowing. Stupid game.
Oh, are those my strings? Are those my
No,
fault?
no, this is me. Research Laboratory rushed. That needs to be set to clip.
Ah.
It's just the UI thing. It's literally like an XML tag. I forgot.
There's a lot of XML tags, so I can see how you would forget one.
There's gonna be more. This is welcome to my world.
It's interesting to talk about. Actually, XML is a good subject. One of the things we're doing in Galciv 3 is really making an effort to making everything as data-driven as possible. And what data-driven means is that it's not baked into the game code. It's things that live in XML files, which are really just text files, that you can go in and edit. And so and you can see this in the alpha if you go into your game directory and go look at some of those files that are in there. I don't remember what subdirectory they're in or whatever, but if you're
Game
the type
/ data
to see they're cleverly well hidden
/ game or / English or / core.
But if you load them up in Notepad++ is a great program to look at XML files. You can see all the data for all kinds of stuff in the game, all the definitions for, how the galaxy is set up, what ships do, what the weapons do, what kind of bonuses they have, and it just goes as far as we can push it. And so that's just basically what we're trying to expose as much of that as possible in a really basically intuitive fashion, that if you can read XML and it's not hard, our XML is pretty clean, it's not too hard to read it, is really, if you're inclined to do so, it's really easy to go in and mod the game, and hopefully that will lead to some
the
good
suspenders
things.
got resent when we reloaded.
That's another interesting one.
Oh. Sorry. Saw Good Planet. I almost flew away from it. Yes. Yeah, actually, what's funny about the XML is that it is actually all of the game play data, all of the flexible numbers are actually going to be being generated by a giant Excel
monstrosity
sheet and editor, so players will actually not even have to know how to do XML.
Are you gonna Are you going to give him the editor?
And not till after we release, but yeah. And you'll be
Oh.
able to go in and go, I would like these Doom Rays to do 4,000 damage. And yeah, I mean,
I didn't know you were giving out the editor. That's awesome because then, like, if you want to change what lasers do, for example, you
well,
can just
not to mention you
open
can
the
just go
editor-
in there and clone one, call it lasers, Paul's lasers, and
Right.
and make it do something else, make it penetrate shields, or so it's going to be very, very flexible. We like I said, our goal is to make it so a person who wants to do a full mod will be able to just tear the data side at the very least completely apart.
Nice. Well, there you go. Apparently, we're giving you the editor when we release. Ray's giving me this look like, oh my god, we're doing what now? But hey, it's he's your boss, so.
Yeah. No, that's known. I mean, we released the editor for FE, and I actually based my editor on the one that Derek made for FE because
Derek is an amazing XML or
he's
XLS
some
wizard.
sort of Excel ninja.
He really is. Okay, more questions. Who's winning any First Blood? No. I'm not actually playing. It's just Ray and Paul and Paragon Renegade. It's a 1v1v1.
And the turn-based games go really slow.
They do go kind of slow, especially when you forget to hit end turn.
People are hitting turn, yeah.
Paragon Renegade asks, wouldn't it make more sense to have code-based files with an XML converter like in Sins?
What?
Wouldn't it make more sense to have more code-based files with an XML converter like in Sins? Which is really,
converting the XML to binary?
Right.
We do that.
Well, but we do that at runtime, right?
Yeah, we do that at runtime. So
Yeah,
we
so
have
when
the so essentially we expose the XML, you change it, and if it goes the XML is changed, it zips it all back up, or it recompiles it into a binary.
Right.
And not every file does that. So there will be files we'll be able to exclude from that process. Why is this? Oh, because we reloaded. Wait a second. This should not be acting idle.
Testing.
Oh, no. Okay. I guess that was good.
Parrot Math asks, will the mod folder be more modder friendly than FELH?
I certainly hope so. That type of stuff is still very much in the works, so it's kind of hard to make any promises. But we want, like I said, we want to make sure it's very, very moddable. Ooh, I need to research terraforming for this planet. Apparently, by the way, terraforming is changing, so anything I do here will not work in the beta because it'll be a completely different system.
Let's see. Will you be able to see the amount of planets per star, like in Galciv 2? How many overall habitable asteroid fields, etc.? I guess I don't really know what that's asking.
He wants to know, when you click on a star, will it say, this system has 4 planets, 3 of them habitable, 4 asteroids? I'm debating this, and the odds are probably yes. At the very least, it will say what is exposed from the fog, because there's a little bit of a cheese you can do. Is all you have to do is run up to the edge of the star, click on it, and see the whole thing. You never actually explored the other side, so it's more of just to avoid cheese. But when it was single player, it didn't matter, but when it's multiplayer, you're actually giving somebody a little advantage. So we have to be, once again, your stupid balancing is ruining our game.
So it's all Ray's fault, is what you're telling me.
No, it's a lot of things have to be accounted for differently in multiplayer.
Sure.
A lot of code, like in Galciv 2, you'd be able to rush a building and it would instantly work, and we can't really do that anymore because it actually gives somebody an advantage. So now everybody's things are done at the end of the turn.
Right. Which is something that a lot of 4X
No,
games
it's
have kind of always
totally
done,
a normal
so-
thing, but in single player, we didn't have to worry about that. So it was very visceral. You hit boom and bang, it worked. You can't do that because essentially you're messing up the flow of the game. So that type of thing is actually a little annoying. You have to give up a little bit of freedom and when you start supporting multiplayer completely.
Sure. Paragon Renegade says, all these class 20 planets can't be good for my health.
All these? What? What? I don't have any class 20 planets. Oh, I see. He's tormenting us.
Yes, he's trolling. Antilurker77 wants to know, can you talk about major changes to fleet combat yet? Which is, it's one of those big, giant questions that we kind of haven't answered yet. And we've been doing a lot of teasing of, well, it's going to be
well,
really cool.
okay, the truth is about fleet combat is that we've designed it 4 times. We have lots of great ideas. Some of them don't feel Galcivi enough. We get one that we really like, we implement it, and then go, this is not there. The players won't have enough interaction and they won't like it. So we're really trying to balance this. It's my turn. We're really trying to balance. Sorry, I can't talk and build at the same time. We're really trying to balance a quick, fun experience with something that does give the player some interaction. The current plan is to essentially, under the covers, what's happening right now is each ship has a role, and it isn't my turn, right? So I can keep talking. Each ship has a role, and they're kind of hidden under the covers because they're pre-canned ships. Once we get to the beta, you'll see this more obviously. There's escorts, assault ships, and support ships. And the support ships are completely hidden in the alpha, so they do nothing. But essentially, you make up a fleet that has these different aspects to it, and that essentially creates this check and balance system where my assault ships go in, but your fleet has more escort ships, and therefore they can defend from this. And this now that is cool, and we were kind of really happy with that, but we don't think it's enough. So what we're probably going to do is at the initiation of the battle, these support ships will actually give you perks or things that you can then assign to each ship before the battle. Then you hit go, and the AI will play it all out for you. So it essentially is a little bit of a tactics game, but it's simple. And we really want to keep it simple because, anybody who's a Galciv fan knows that at a large, end of a large map, you'll have 50 planets. You're trying to do all this stuff, and then all of a sudden one turn you'll have 15 battles happen, bam, 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 bam. And if you have to go in there and also the minute this has gameplay effect, you feel obligated to go in there. You don't want to auto-resolve anymore. So we really have to make sure it's quick. And also that if you do auto-resolve it, we have to make sure the AI is super smart and is doing what you would want it to do. So there's a lot of work in that, which is why the actual fleet battles, being able to really interact, it will probably be one of the last beta features in. We under the covers, a lot of it is already happening, and you'll start seeing it in the numbers, even in beta 1. But the interaction, the UI, the screen, the cinematic battle viewer, those are all a little ways off. But we do have good plans. And I will say right now, all of this may change because we may play it and go, that wasn't fun, and have to add more. So
right.
Welcome to game design. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's always a struggle, and especially, we have to consider, too, not just what we did in Galciv 2 and what Galciv 2 players expect, but the fact that in Galciv 3, our maps are going to be so much bigger at the high end, and we need to make sure that they're playable. We don't want to ship a game that you can load up a map at this size or whatever, but it doesn't actually work, or you can't finish a game on it, right? Like, there's no way we want to do that, and so those all kind of play in to all those design decisions. Question. Let's see. Anything you can tell us about carriers?
Okay, so the way the carriers work currently is probably going to get tweaked a little, but essentially what happens with a carrier is you put a carrier module on, much like you would a transport module. The carrier module would have fighters in it, depending on what type of carrier module you put on. So you say, I put on an assault carrier module. Oh, I didn't hit turn. Sorry. Hey, look, I met my... Oh, never mind. So somehow I saw your message and it said my name and I got confused. Never mind. I met you for the first time or something. So the carrier, so you'll build a ship, you'll put on a carrier module. That carrier module will come with, say, 3 fighters just built in. Those fighters are assigned by whatever ship you have, excuse me, currently assigned as your assault fighter. So you'll be able to customize your assault fighters, make new assault fighters. One of the things anyways, let me finish explaining that. So you then fly out, you go into battle. The minute the battle starts, those fighters come out of out of carrier modules, hopefully in a really cool cinematic way, and do their thing depending on their roles. If they're escort fighters, they'll try and defend their ship they're defending. If they're assault fighters into the battle, and then so that right now there's only currently escort, and that we used to have a couple other mods, but they were kind of redundant. The other thing we're talking about is maybe making it so you can just grab any tiny ship and put it into a carrier module, which is cool and a little more flexible. But the great thing about having them auto spawn is that they would upgrade as you upgrade technology. So your fighters would get better and better and better on your ship as you're out there. And they kind of almost are like, so they become really like super amazing missiles, really, that draw fire. So that's the current design. That is how they work in code. We're playing, if you actually, well, I shouldn't tell you that. Anyways, if you play,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, sorry, I almost. If you, so let me say, now it's my turn. I have to do some stuff here.
I'll field a question here while you're taking your turn. Newcar asks, are you trying versions for the same feature before picking one, like on the planet screen topic, aka are we able to help decide? Certainly during the alpha, we are kind of iterating through several designs on features, and so I think what you're trying to get at probably there is, are we actually listening to feedback and taking what alpha players are saying and what our elite funders are saying and using that to help us make a better game? Absolutely. We've had certainly things already that we've changed in the game based on alpha player feedback.
We also have to be careful, though, because everybody has their own special thing. It's one of the great challenges is filtering out the feedback. I mean, if you just look at even the planet thread, it's like, oh, I love it. It's great. I love this. I love this. I love this. But you should do this. And the next person, I hate this. I hate that. I hate this. Why? Just do it just like you did in Galciv 2. So, it's not enough tiles. Why is there so many tiles? We have all this feedback. So we have to go through and kind of scan it for doable things, and also for this is a great suggestion, but it's not. That's the biggest challenge. There's so many of these ideas are great, but they're not great for Galciv. It's like, oh, that would be an awesome game, but it would take over. The planet screen is a perfect example of this. I have, it's your turn, by the way, Ray.
I was here the whole time. Not my turn. Not my turn. Not my turn. Oh, hey, it's your turn.
The planet screen is a good example. If I have designers who, other designers at the company who send me feedback, and most people are like, oh, I really want this. It's not complicated enough. You can't have adjacency be like for like, because then everybody will create little ghettos. And essentially what these people are thinking is, if this was an independent game, then this would be a bad mechanic. But it's not. It's a mini game inside of a much bigger game, and we need it to be simple. But when you look at it cosmetically, or you look at it just by itself, you tend to think, well, that's stupid. Why would they do that? And it's like, well, because you're going to have 50 planets. Right. And you need to plan those on a quick whim and have it mean something. So that's kind of the general feedback on everything. It's like, people are like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if you did this for fleet combat? This is Ray's fault again.
Ray is breaking everything.
Did you crash? Oh.
Oof. Alpha testing, everybody. Well, we've been on for half an hour anyway, so we'll probably...
and what were we at, like 12 turns?
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, let me just also, while we're talking about this, the multiplayer game feels a lot slower and is going to have to be balanced. So I actually overreact. We were playing it at work, and we're playing it on test day, and I'm like, I need to make these things build faster. This is, my population's not growing up, and then everybody just keeps shouting into my office, we're only on turn 14. So it is a different experience. I think that as people get used to the game, they're really going to love it, and they'll be able to play it quickly. But it is a slow experience right now. We try and make it so you plan. You can plan your turns, and you'll go. One guy will take 2 minutes to do a turn, and then the next 5 turns you'll just go bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
So I think that's the challenge of all turn-based strategy games who do multiplayer. So It's
sure.
going to be fun. I really can't wait till you're able to, play a scenario, play you and me versus the Drengen, and load and save and play it over a week. That's my dream for multiplayer.
Excellent. Well, hey, thank you all for coming in and asking some great questions. I'm sorry we didn't get everybody's question in, but that's going to always kind of be the case. Oh, Stringer, yes, we support joining an already, or no, you have to be in the game when it's created.
We do not currently join, but you could say we're playing a game, and then Ray can't play later. When we reload the game, we can let somebody else take his spot.
Okay. So there's some.
Whereas there's no way for you to currently go, hey, there's an open spot in this game and just appear, because that would be a nightmare. I don't know. Maybe somebody can think of a brilliant way to do that. Maybe we'll play with it.
There you go.
We're open to suggestions.
So bring your suggestions on the forum. We do read it. Somebody asked, how big is your staff that reviews feedback? I don't know. How big is the team? Everybody reads the forums. Not everybody posts there, certainly.
Ray spends
the
most time. Yeah.
Hi, I'm everybody.
All of us, we all essentially troll the forums for the things that are important to us.
Right.
Whereas Ray's job is to troll the forums for everything.
Right.
Whereas I look at design questions. I look at when people have easy questions like, "Hey, why didn't this work?" I'll be like, "Oh, that's a bug. This is blah blah blah." And the coders will actually be like, "Well, did you do this? Did you send in your bug report?"
Right.
It's also, and it's not really fair to testers, because it is a relatively small team, but they'll report the same thing that someone else has already reported 2 or 3 times, and we have a tendency to skip those, and it's not really fair to them. So that's why we have we have Cryo and other moderators who can kind of keep people involved. If we don't respond to you, it's not because we're not listening. It's because we either have already heard it, or it's something that's so outside of what we actually is in the realistic scope.
There's always that.
Yeah,
but we love that people dream big.
Yeah,
but
and hey, there are expansions coming,
Absolutely.
and the founders get them for free. So keep the suggestions coming. Once Brad's happy with the base game, maybe I can sneak in some crazy stuff.
1 or 2. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks again for tuning in, everybody. We'll get Ray a mic hopefully next week, so we can make that happen. And we'll talk to you all later. Again, tell your friends. I'll post this to YouTube, so people who have issues with Twitch, I know that we were getting some complaints about that. We'll be able to get you in and watching and all that stuff. You might get a special treat. You might get a special little treat. The camera totally moves. Are you kidding me? I have a remote.
Hey Maggie, say
for
something
the
to
camera.
Say something to the mic. She's frozen. That poor dog is frozen.
I have the best job in the world because I get to bring this dog to work with me every day. She's our official morale officer.
Yeah.